Arjun and Meera had been married for 7 years, their lives intertwined with love, routine, and shared responsibilities. Arjun worked as a marketing manager, often buried in deadlines and late-night meetings. Meera, a freelance graphic designer, worked from home, juggling her career and household chores. Though their marriage seemed steady, a subtle distance had crept between them over the years. It started with small things: missed conversations over dinner, moments of silence that stretched longer than usual. Meera often felt lonely during the long hours when Arjun was away or distracted. She began spending more time online, exploring creative forums and chatting with like-minded individuals. That's how she met Rohan, an artist who shared her passion for design and aesthetics. Their conversation started innocently, discussing art, sharing ideas, and exchanging tips. But over time, their chats grew personal. Rohan was charming, attentive, and seemed to understand Meera in ways Arjun no longer did. She found herself looking forward to their conversations, her heart racing every time his message popped up on her screen. Arjun, too, was battling his own discontent. His workplace had become a second home, and one of his colleagues, Priya, became a confidant. Priya was empathetic, lively, and always ready to lend a listening ear. What began as casual coffee breaks at the office turned into long dinners after work. Arjun found solace in her company, enjoying the connection he missed at home. Neither Arjun nor Meera realized how far they were drifting until the cracks in their marriage became undeniable. One evening, while clearing the dining table, Meera accidentally saw a message on Arjun's phone. It was from Priya, and the tone was unmistakably intimate. Her chest tightened as suspicion bloomed into certainty. Unable to confront him immediately, Meera retreated into her thoughts. That night, as Arjun slept beside her, she stared at the ceiling, grappling with her own guilt. How could she question him when she, too, had crossed boundaries? Her phone held evidence of her late-night exchanges with Rohan, filled with words and emotions that were never meant for her husband. The next morning, tension hung heavy in the air. Meera finally broke the silence, confessing her online relationship with Rohan. Arjun was stunned, his initial anger replaced by the weight of his own betrayal. Hesitantly, he admitted his growing closeness with Priya. Their confessions left him raw and vulnerable, but also exposed the emptiness they had allowed to grow between them. Rather than erupting into blame, they decided to take a step back and reflect. They acknowledged the love they once had and the ways they had neglected each other. Seeking the help of a counselor, they began to rebuild their relationship brick by brick, relearning how to communicate, trust, and cherish one another. It wasn't an easy journey, but Arjun and Meera found their way back. In confronting their flaws and rediscovering their bond, they forged a deeper connection. Understanding that love was as much about effort and growth as it was about feeling, the process of rebuilding their marriage was slow and painful. In therapy, they explored the reasons behind their betrayals. Meera admitted how isolated she had felt, especially during Arjun's long absences. She explained how Rohan's attention had filled a void, though she now realized it was a temporary escape, not a solution. Arjun, in turn, shared how the mounting pressure of his career had made him retreat emotionally, seeking comfort in Priya's companionship instead of addressing his struggles at home. Through their sessions, they began to understand how they had unintentionally let their marriage slip into complacency. Their counselor guided them to open up about their feelings without judgment, a skill neither had mastered before. They revisited their shared dreams and reflected on why they had chosen each other in the first place. At home, they implemented small but meaningful changes. Meera began setting boundaries with her freelance work, ensuring she had time to spend with Arjun. He, in turn, made a conscious effort to leave work earlier and prioritize their evenings together. They started going on date nights again, rediscovering the joy of each other's company. One evening, Arjun surprised Meera with a visit to an art gallery, knowing how much she loved it. Walking through the exhibits, she felt a spark of the excitement they used to share in their early days together. Similarly, Mira took an interest in Arjun's work, asking about his projects and offering her insights. These gestures, though small, began to mend the cracks in their relationship. They also had to address their lingering connections to Rohan and Priya. Mira ended all contact with Rohan, deleting their messages and blocking him on every platform. She wrote a final message to him, apologizing for the emotional entanglement and explaining her need to focus on her marriage. Arjun did the same with Priya, though the conversation was more difficult since they worked together. He requested a transfer to another department, a decision that showed Mira he was serious about rebuilding their trust. Over time, the wounds began to heal. They started creating new routines and traditions, like taking weekend trips or cooking dinner together. They also learned to be more honest about their feelings, voicing frustrations or concerns before they could fester. Slowly but surely, the love they thought they had lost began to return, stronger and more resilient than before. Years later, Arjun and Mira would look back on that difficult chapter as a turning point. It was a painful reminder of how fragile relationships could be, but also a testament to the power of forgiveness and effort. Their story wasn't perfect, but it was theirs, messy, real, and ultimately filled with hope.